everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we're doing a full face of Drugstore Only products. I've pulled some new products. I've pulled some existing products in my collection that I've used, tested out previously that I want to incorporate again, try again, continue getting a feel for these products. Some of them are going to be favorites that I've used before, talked about in previous videos. So I just pulled a bunch of things. It's a mixed bag, mixed brands. So let's go ahead and get started. Starting off with primer, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This is just a mini that was a free gift with purchase. I just like to take the end of my makeup brush and scoop some out. And I'm going to use my fingers to apply this in mostly the areas that I have larger pores, so right in through here. I've used this before with a brush, and I do feel like this type of pore filling primer needs to be pushed into the skin and just really blended better than what a brush can do. So I'm going to use my fingers this time and see how well this works underneath the foundation that I've chosen for today. Today's foundation is going to be the Milani Conceal and Perfect 00BB Nude is the shade that I wear. And I'm going to use my beauty blender to blend this in. I did order some Real Techniques sponges for my drugstore videos. So when those arrive, I will be using those whenever I do drugstore videos. And I'm also going to be, I think, expanding my drugstore brush collection as well with some more Real Techniques and some Morphe brushes, things that you can easily get if you have a Ulta store near you and you shop there or order online. So I'm going to blend this in all over with my sponge. I really like this foundation. And so while I'm blending, I'm going to chat with you guys about the drugstore series that I want to do on my channel. I posted on my community tab, and I will show you like a screenshot here of what it looks like on my community tab where I asked you guys for some advice. I feel like the best place to get advice is from you guys for more drugstore content. What brands you like, what products you liked from the drugstore, either current or previously, brands that you would like to see featured. I want to do some more drugstore content and just expand my collection because I'm going to be honest with you guys, there are some drugstore products that I have yet to try, like the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. Haven't tried one. That one. Yeah, you heard that right. There are like the Maybelline Skin Tint. So right now I have products to do L'Oreal, Maybelline, CoverGirl. I'm looking into Wet n Wild. So anyways, there's quite a few brands that were shared on there. Some of them were kind of repetitive. A couple of people asked for the same brand. Like Wet n Wild was on there twice. I think Revlon was another one. So there's a few. So go on there if you'd like to leave some feedback or requests. That's the place to leave your comment, and I will respond and then add those to the notes in my phone so that I can do a series of drugstore content and do them a couple times a month, do some drugstore one brand tutorials, and then like today's video, a mix of different brands to do a full face. So let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that. Moving on to conceal, I'm going to first start with the e.l.f. corrector. This is the fair shade, and again, I do that same little trick where I scoop some out with the end of my brush. And I'm going to put most of it right through here. And I really like this product. This is really nice and brightening, and the light pink shade is perfect for fair skin. There is a couple of shades in this range, and I do use my beauty sponge to blend this in. I pulled two concealers from my collection. One is a favorite of mine from the drugstore that I think is incredible. The other is fairly new, and it goes with the foundation. It's the Milani Conceal and Perfect. And the favorite is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop. This is such a good concealer from the drugstore. It's right up there with my high-end products. So I'm going to mix the two. So in the inner corner, I'm going to do the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop in Alabaster. I have a couple shades in this concealer, and that's the lightest one that I have. So that's going to give me the most brightness in the inner part of the eye. And then I'm going to add the Milani one. This is the shade 110 Nude Ivory. And as you can see, it's just a little bit darker, a little bit more beige. So I'm going to just add a little bit of both. And I'm going to use a little bit more than what I probably need because the beauty sponge tends to eat up a lot of the excess. So in order for me to get a more full coverage under eye, I need to add a little bit more when I use the sponge. And I'm just going to balance that back and forth, blending the two together. You can also use a brush. They look beautiful with a brush as well. One of the things that I've been doing as of late because of the Sephora collection powder puff, this is the velour puff that I got during the sale. Now I know this is not drugstore, but it is an $8 sponge, so it is drugstore price. And I've been using this to bake with my normal go-to Huda Beauty Easy Bake powder, and I cannot believe the difference that baking does. It's something I don't do. I usually use powder under the eyes, and just enough to set the concealer, but I don't really bake. So what I want to do today is try this sponge again, and you can find them online. Amazon has affordable ones. This is just the only one that I own. And I want to use the Halo powder. This is the Halo Glow powder from e.l.f. It's the pink, what is it called? Light pink. So it looks like this. And I want to see how this is going to brighten, set, and maybe try to bake with it. This could go very wrong for me. I realize that, but I'm here just playing and testing product and different methods out. So this is what we're going to do today. We're going to bake with the light pink powder. And this part is going to seem so odd if you don't do this. For me, it feels like I'm doing something completely wrong by putting so much powder in this area. But I did this weekend with the Physicians Formula Diamond Blur powder, and it was beautiful. And I couldn't even believe it. And I did the L'Oreal concealer. It's their newest one with caffeine in it. And I was testing that concealer out for my videos, and I did the baking with Physicians Formula and was blown away. And I knew it would be great with the Huda because that's what I normally use for under the eye. And this is just something, I'm not going to do this every day, okay? This is just a lot. It's just too much. Sometimes when I'm trying to hurry and be quick with my routine, this is just too much powder. So we're going to just leave this here. Again, it's going to look crazy. You got to trust the process with this. I think I'm going to go and do my brows from here and then just come back and remove some of this. For brows, I have two different products. I have a pencil, the new one from e.l.f. This is the waterproof version of their Instant Lift Brow Pencil. I have the shade called Neutral Brown. I remember really loving the original formula. This was back when it was like $2. I remember getting it at Target, and it was actually a very good pencil. So I want to try this new version and revisit and rediscover this formula. And then I have to use the Build-A-Brow. I've been using this ever since I bought it, and I used it in a video, a couple videos back. This has been part of my everyday. And I've been reaching for this more than the NYX Lift and Snatch, which I cannot believe this is replacing the NYX for me as of right now. But I'm going to use the two, and I'm going to kind of zip through this because this part does take me quite a bit. So I'm going to start with the pencil and then hit it with some of the Build-A-Brow from Maybelline. I'm using some of the Physicians Formula Brow Gel. This is the Brazilian Lift Brow Gel. It comes in a green tube like this. With this pencil from e.l.f., it does have a waxy consistency, and it kind of lays down the hair and keeps them in place. So I don't really have to use a lot of brow gel, which is great. Time to dust away this bake. I am going to take a brush and just sweep off the excess. This is a Colourpop F32 brush that I've had for a couple of years, and it's really nice and soft. And it's perfect for getting right underneath the eye and sweeping away the bake. So let's see how this looks up close. Oh, that looks nice, actually. Now we need to do some bronzer. And I want to do a little bit of cream and powder mix. So I'm going to use two products from Milani. Their newest cream bronzer, which is actually very good. Blends super well. Reminds me a lot of the NARS cream bronzer, which I like a lot. This is the Cheek Kiss bronzer in the shade Hey Honey. And this was a product that I used new recently as well, kind of rediscovering some new products from this brand and kind of coming right back around to some old favorites from Milani. And one of those was the bronzer. This is the Silky Matte. I chose the shade Sunkiss number 02 to try. The first one that I tried was shade 01, and I forget the name of that shade, but it's the lightest one. This is the second shade, and it's a really pretty, just soft, silky looking matte bronzer that blends effortlessly over pretty much anything that I've put on top of this. It's been beautiful. But I also have the new Buttermelt bronzers from NYX. I picked this up recently at Ulta when I went there to get some product for some drugstore videos, and I saw a display with some of these colors, and this was one of the lighter shades that was still available. The deeper shades kind of scared me because I am so fair. I was like, that might be too pigmented. So I picked up the shade All Butta'd Up, and I like the compact. It's different. It feels a little bit more hefty, more weighted, a little bit more expensive. And I am trying to get this, open. Okay. And this is what it looks like. It's almost kind of like a strip of product, and it has a little bit of a rosy undertone. So how about we do this? How about we do some cream, and then we'll try this bronzer powder over the top. I think that's probably the best thing to do today. I'm going to use my NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation brush for the cream. I'm just going to blend this in and kind of go in the hollows of the cheekbone to kind of contour with it. Since it's kind of warm but kind of cool a little bit. It's a little bit more neutrally, I guess, in tone. But this formula blends so, so well. Look how easy this is blending, you guys. This is such a good formula. If you have not tried this cream bronzer, I would recommend that you do, assuming that you like cream bronzers. If you do, this is a very good one, and it's blending out so well. And I know I look crazy. I'm going to continue blending this out, but this is really, really nice. And now for the bronzer, I'm going to go into the NYX bronzer with the mini multitask brush, which is such a good brush. I used to love the full size of this years ago, and I got rid of mine, but I am so happy to have it back. The handle is shorter, so it's more travel friendly, and it's super cute, but the actual brush head is full size. From what I can remember, if memory serves me right, this is the same size of brush head, and the bristles are all the same. So we're just going to go right into this bronzer. This bronzer, by looking at it, has, oh, this smells okay. This smells kind of like they're trying to do like a Too Faced kind of thing with their bronzer and that cocoa smell. Ooh, it smells nice. So if you like fragrance, you may enjoy this. If you don't want a fragrance, I would say maybe just stick to the Silky Matte from Milani. This is pretty noticeable of a scent, but I'm pretty sure to go away once it blends and kind of fades. I like how the tone is a little bit more kind of like a cool rosiness undertone. It's got a bit of a sheen to it, so it's not fully matte by any means. And because it's a little bit more rosy, I'm going to take this closer to where I would put my blush and then over the cream. And I'm going to go down the neck a little bit with it. Oh yeah, that's nice, you guys. Okay, so far everything has been A+. Yay. Blush today is going to be from Flower Beauty. This is the Flower Pot in the shade Sweet Pea. And I have yet to try the Flower Beauty blush. And I am excited. I tried their cream that comes in like a squeeze tube years ago. And I remember really liking that. But this one is really pretty. It's like soft, easy, doesn't compete with the eyes. I can do any look, cool tone, warm tones, or one shadow look, or just mascara and feel like this, I can pull it off with any eye look. So I'm excited to see how this goes on. It is a matte blush, and it almost looks too pretty to mess up with that embossed floral design. It's really nice. It's a nice little added detail to just make it a little bit more special looking. So let's go ahead and apply this today. And I'm going to just pat this right over the tops of my cheekbone and on the apples of the cheek. This is really pretty. It's really, really soft, and it seems to be a nice buildable formula. This is actually a lot more pigmented than I thought. Building it up does intensify it quite a bit. So I'm going to soften this out just a little bit with my beauty sponge. And this is the Dream Highlighter in Dreamlight Highlighter in the shade Honeysuckle. So the packaging is so pretty, like a pink iridescent look to it. Very, very glowy, very dewy. This I haven't used in a while, so I'm going to use this today. And I'm going to press this very lightly over the tops of my cheekbone. This is definitely something that is very intense. If you put too much on, this highlighter from Moira is very, very glowy. So having a light hand is ideal, and you can always build up to the desired intensity that you want. It's time now to work on an eye look for the day. These palettes I have reached for quite a bit. I've used them in several of my drugstore videos, but honestly, the quality is unbelievable. These Colourpop palettes are not to be slept on. The 1111 is by far my favorite one. I picked up a few palettes over the last couple of months trying to expand my drugstore collection. So I picked this one up. I picked up their Cloud 9, which is a lot more cooler and a little bit more icy. And it's fun. It's just different. So if you like these kind of icy, silvery colors with some blue undertones and some like classic silvers, you'll really like this palette. But the 1111 is by far my most favorite eyeshadow palette from the drugstore. This is absolutely beautiful. You can get Colourpop at Ulta stores and online, and also at Target. I don't know if Target carries the 1111, but they do have some Colourpop products. I can only imagine that their smaller palettes are the same quality, and even the larger ones, which I haven't even tried those either. This is a favorite of mine. I'm just gonna tell you right now, this is where it's at. If you don't have this and you look towards these shadows for every day, the neutrals, the basics, the staple colors, this is where it's at. and it's so affordable, and the performance is right up there with the high end. I'm telling you, this is some good stuff. So we're gonna use this today because I love it so much, okay? So we're gonna do a look with this and keep it simple, keep it easy, and we're just gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna take the shade called Lucky Babe, which is the cool tone kind of transition shade, and I'm gonna use a Profusion brush as well for this. This is the large blending eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to use this to create some shape and dimension to my eye. With the same brush, I'm going to dip into the shade called Protection, which is a soft kind of pinky blush tone. And I'm going to apply this right over the top and layer those two shades together. I'm going to move down to the lower lash line. I'm going to take the dark brown in the palette that's called Empowered, and this is also a matte shade, and it's a deep chocolate brown. I'm going to go back to that Profusion brush. I'm going to pinch the brush just to make it a little bit flatter. And I'm going to blend out the edges of that color. And I'm going to take a little bit of that Protection, which is the blushy pink shade. And again, just sweeping that right underneath to help blend and create a little bit more of a smokiness with that dark brown shadow. Keeping the same brush, not trying to dirty any brushes and have more work for myself later. I'm just going to use the same one. Keep it simple. For my lid shade, I'm going to go into a taupey metallic shade, and that is the shade called Major Change. It's on the second row, second shade, and it is a kind of smoky, cool tone taupe with a little bit more gray to it, so it's really, really pretty, super soft, super buttery, and I'm going to use my finger to apply this to my lids. And I'm going to pat first to deposit the color from my finger to my lids, and once I have it pressed onto my lids, then I can do that swiping motion. And by doing this technique, it helps prevent any fallout onto my concealer because I've already done my complexion. Wowee, do I love that color. Do you see? This, I'm telling you, should be more than, what is it, $15, $18, which may seem like a lot for a drugstore product, but honestly, drugstore prices, they're getting a little ridiculous, aren't they? And this, I would say, is absolutely 100% worth the investment. Now I want to add a little bit more of that kind of blushy pink shade, the Protection. I will show you what that looks like again. I'm going to go back into that with the same crease brush, and I'm going to use that to blend right around the edge of that metallic shade that I put onto my lids. Just a little bit. I'm going to wipe off that brush really well, and then I'm going to go into the Lucky Babe, which is that first transition-y shade, and I'm going to use that right around the edge to help me blend. And I'm using just ever so slightly a pinch of it, not too much. Blend the edge a little bit more. And that final blend as well around the under eye. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of a liquid liner. This is my favorite one. This is the NYX Epic Ink. And I have the brown shade, and I also own it in black. It's such an easy liquid liner to use. Liner's done. I still need to do my mascara, but before I do that, I want to use a little bit of setting spray. This is the Milani Make It Last. This is a mini size of the matte finishing spray. I want to do this before I do my mascara. This is supposed to be a setting spray that's going to lock everything into place and keep everything as is. So I want to test this out. I've only used it once before, and I kind of want to get a feel for it a little bit more, so I'm going to use this today. I feel like the sprayer is not that great on this. I don't know if mine is getting kind of clogged from the last time I used it, but I don't know. I felt like most of it went into my lap and onto my legs. I'm wearing shorts, so I kind of felt like all the droplets were on my leg, but I kind of pressed it in with my sponge as I do with most sprays. If I use them, I kind of spray them after I fan it with my hands, and we'll just see how it works. I don't know if I really got an even spray. I think the sprayer could be improved on this one. Maybe it's just mine, but again, I'm going to keep testing it out, so we'll see how that impacts today's wear time. Did you know that the Maybelline Sky High mascara line has a matching primer for your mascara, but it's a tinted primer. There's not many on the market drugstore and high-end that are tinted. Usually mascara primers are going to be a white color that you apply, let it sit, and then apply your mascara and coat over it and cover it with your mascara. But I've always wanted to use a primer for my lashes, but I've also thought that a tinted version would probably be better in case you don't cover every part of your lash and you miss a spot. It's not going to be obvious, right? So finding one that's tinted is kind of hard these days. And can you believe that Maybelline has done it? It's a tinted primer. I have not used this yet. I also have not used the Sky High mascara, but I kind of want to reserve the mascara for a first impressions in a Maybelline only video. I have a bunch of Maybelline products in front of me for a Maybelline one brand tutorial. So I think I want to try this because I have been wanting to try this primer since I bought it at Target. I am going to use it today, and then I'm going to layer over the top my CoverGirl mascara. Here we go. This is the tinted primer. So I want to see how this primer works with a mascara that I am already familiar with. The CoverGirl Cleantopia is not my favorite mascara, but it's not terrible. And I know what it can do for my lashes. So using this beforehand, I want to see if this really does anything, or if this is just kind of like a pointless extra step. Now we're going to go in with a little bit of the Cleantopia mascara. This is the part of the Lash Blast line. So here's the mascara, one coat and primer, and then just one coat of primer. I do see a difference, but this does look like what this mascara looks like without the primer. So far it's fine, but I don't really see a whole ton of difference. We'll see what happens when I go in with the second coat. Going in for coat number 2. So here's the mascara with 2 coats of mascara and 1 coat of the primer. I do feel like the lashes pretty much look kind of like this does on its own with no primer underneath. And I feel like this formula is a little bit prone to getting clumpy pretty quick. So having that extra layer already on the lashes with the primer, I feel like is making it look a little bit more clumpy than I prefer. And ultimately it makes it feel like I do have quite a bit on my lashes. So I don't think that the primer from Maybelline goes well with this mascara. So I think it may be a good pairing with the matching mascara, and maybe that's what Maybelline was after, creating kind of like a 2-step duo that can give really great lashes. I have yet to try that out, so I'm going to reserve these two together for my Maybelline one brand tutorial, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe so you don't miss that one. But as far as this primer with the Cleantopia, I think I will just stick to just the mascara with this formula specifically. Moving on to lips, I'm going to use a product that I absolutely love, and it's the lip liners from NYX. It's the classic wooden sharpenable pencils. These are probably $4 to $5 at the most, maybe closer to $6 depending on where you shop, but the formula is incredible. So I'm going to use the shade called Peekaboo Neutral today. I'm going to line and fill with this first. Then over the top, I'm going to take the Revlon Bare It All number 755 lipstick. Go right over the top. Then I want to top the lips with a lip oil. I was going to use the NYX Fat Oil in Newsfeed, which is, it looks red, but it's more of like a cherry red with a little hint of a transparent red tone. It's a really nice shade, and I really like that formula. But I want to try the e.l.f. Glow Reviver lip oils. I have yet to use one of these. I know, I must be under a rock somewhere. I picked up one shade, and this is the shade called Rose Envy. And I think it would be a nice addition to this nude lip we've got going on to maybe add a little bit more of a rosy kind of vibe to it. What do you think? Let's go for it. And these have a little bit of a minty kind of scent. So I'm going to do a little bit of this right over the top. And here is the lip look using the NYX Fat Oil in Newsfeed in case you wanted to see a little bit more of this sort of light transparent kind of like cherry red over the same lip liner and the same lipstick. What do you think? And this is the completed full face of Drugstore Only products. What do you guys think? I really like how everything is turning out. I don't think I've tried anything in this video today that isn't a great product. I am surprised about that lip oil from e.l.f. I feel like I've been sleeping on that for too long, and it's really pretty, nice and pillowy, very thick, but comfortable and not like too goopy. And it has such a pretty shine, fills in the lines of the lips, make them look nice and smooth. The complexion is looking great. Now I hope it wears well. As I said before in the beginning of the video, I have changed my daily moisturizer, so we'll see how all of these products work. But everything that I use today is spectacular, and 100% I will use again and recommend. So the description box down below is going to have everything listed and linked for you down below. Thanks for watching, for being here. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. Don't forget to leave me your favorite drugstore products, any drugstore recommendations, your favorite brands. What do you want to see in the next drugstore video? Subscribe for my drugstore series that's coming up, one brand tutorials and a mix like today's video, using a mixture of different brands to create a full face start to finish. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited to get started with those series and those videos. So thanks for giving me your feedback, for watching, and I hope you're doing well. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. It's always here on the screen, and subscribe again for more videos like this. Take care, you guys, and we'll talk very soon. Bye-bye.